Hello and welcome to Time Out with Charlie and Andy again.
Yes.
Of course, I'm Charlia Nauta and I'm here with my very wonderful, cute husband.
Thank you very much, Charlie. My name is Andy Danauta and we want to welcome you to this special episode of Time Out with Charlie and Andy.
Yeah, you're welcome again. Okay, we have received a lot of comments, questions, all from the last episode, counting the cost. It seemed a lot of people are really interested in this.
Yeah.
And because of that, questions came up and people are beginning to ask Andy, what areas should we count the cost?
Count the cost.
Yes.
What should be pointers?
Yes,
right? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Pointers. So what pointers or what specific areas of life should we count the cost? Or are we counting the cost for everything? Or there are major things that we need to concentrate or center on? So help us, Andy.
Well, thank you very much. Now, we want to really appreciate you guys for sending those comments and all. We just decided to do this episode to respond to some of those questions. Very, very, very mind-boggling questions, because one of the people, I spoke to Charlie, was talking about, okay, I know that I love this person and all of those things, but when I began to check those costs and all of those things, and I saw that honestly inside I won't be able to handle those things, so what do I do? And all of that. And so now that these are just even the beginnings of those fact-finding, missions and checking about the things about that person and all of that. Number one, the number one thing anybody should look into when you're counting the cost. Marriage, we always say this in Time Out with Charlie and Nandi, is a game of personalities. Two persons coming together with different personalities, and they will sometimes clash. There will be a clash of personalities. We talked about this earlier, that people coming from different backgrounds are most likely going to have issues and all of those things. And so that you may want to actually check some of these things. Like there was a very big one that I know that there are some tribes in Nigeria that and in other African countries, Charlie, that when you're married to a man there and then he actually dies, you get to marry his brother.
Yeah.
And so these are some of the costs that ancient people used to count. But right now there are a lot of things, things are happening and all of that. Number one, you want to check about the personality of that person, the person, and the personality. You want to check out for traits. You want to look out for traits that you know yourself that you will not be able to actually stand in the future. If you can't stand it now and you're not planning to change, let me tell you something, you may not be able to stand it in the future.
True.
You see, so personality first, you've got to check it. That personality is going to come forth, and there are certain people that, Charlie, when they are pressed to change, you say, this is me. People have loved me like this, people have done this, people have done that, and all of that. And especially when that personality is not offensive to other people. True. It's just that so some people can have personalities, Charlie, they are not offensive to other people, but offensive to their own. Yes. And so what do you do if you don't check that personality and count the cost? What it will cost you, what it will cost your vision, and what it will cost your life or your children to be in the future. It may cause problems in the future. The next thing is finance. Yeah. It's very important, Charlie.
Very.
That has caused so much problem. In fact, it's online, you can check it out. Finance is one of the major causes of problems in marriage. And so that you want to sit down, if you are a young woman, I know, Charlie, they always say these women are the ones that analyze the finances more and all of that.
Okay.
And I want to tell wonderful young ladies out there that are single, honestly, if you know you cannot cope, he's building his life, he's building his career, he's building the business. Let me tell you something, if you can't cope with that, you need to go. He cannot be in the beginning of his business and you always want to eat out.
Yeah.
Eat out will have to be sacrificed. That's a cost you have to pay, a price you have to pay. And so you will need to understand some of this. So if he's not financially buoyant now, or if maybe he's working, one day he's going to retire and all of that, the allowances will stop coming. You need to count the cost even into the future. People just get excited about this. So the first one I mentioned is personality. The second one we're talking about, you want to count the cost, is finance. The third one is vision. You want to, guys, listen to this very carefully. You want to sit down and really count the cost. I love how she loves me and all of this. Let me say this may shock a lot of people out there, Charlie. Somebody can love you and not love your vision. I have seen that literally firsthand. Somebody can actually love you and all of those things like that. I have seen relationships that died because vision was introduced. Before the vision was introduced, the person was okay with that person. They were living fine and all of that, but introduce the vision into it, everything went out. And so that you must know that that love that that person has for you may not be able to, cancel every other factor that is at work. And so you want to check how that vision complements your vision, how that person's purpose complements your own purpose is a cost that you want to count. So check out these 3 things. These are just pointers that you may want to sit down and think about it. And I'm sure Charlie has something to add to this.
Okay, I'll just say a little. We're not trying to say that you change a person or change yourself just to be able to fit into another person's life. Because if you do that, that would just be temporary. It is not from within. With time, you really want to express yourself, especially as you go deeper in the relationship or marriage. You really want to be you. You get tired of just having to be someone else or having to try to be someone else to fit in. So we are saying, get someone whose personality you can tolerate or you can endure. Nobody's perfect. Of course, there'll be lapses here and there. But at least to a certain degree, you can be able to tolerate this person. We've seen people, of course, we've handled couples where the lady doesn't like anything cooking, anything. She prefers the eat out. Just do this, let's hang out, let's do this. This man believes in, and he comes from a home where it's strictly, okay, the wife cooks, I like local dishes. Now, this kind of brought a lot of conflict between them. Though they loved each other, they had to count the cost and part ways. So counting the cost means you're just becoming conscious of the fact that a lot of people will be involved in the future. It will not just be the 2 of you. Kids will come. By the way, there will be families and everything. You don't want to bring these 2 families together only for you to separate them later by your separation. This is the reason why we have to count the cost, especially when it comes to vision. Your vision has to be, there should be a level of, what would I use, compatibility?
Compatibility
of vision. You have to have that. We have this compatibility. I love, the work of God into ministry. But aside from just ministry, we're talking about our personality here. I didn't know I headed a drama unit when I was still single. He did. I love to write. He loves to write. He acted. I acted. So sometimes when we sit down, we think alike. We act alike. We walk towards the same thing. And everything we've walked with together, none of us have been forced to. Because it's something that we did out of passion. Because it's something that we see and envision together. So it is very important for purpose. I think I'll just...
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Charlie, for that. Now we're going to wrap this up by saying, please check these pointers again.
Please do.
And get that relationship that you're on this point. Both of you can sit down and really ask yourself some real questions. I tell people, when you're scared of facing elders, it's because you're scared of answering their questions. If you're scared of answering their questions, simply put, you don't have the answers to that. If you don't have the answers to that, then maybe you should really sit down and ask yourself if you know what you're doing. And so, all right, guys, sit down, ask those questions. We want to hear from you again. Join the conversation, tomorrow, every Wednesday and Friday. Send a text message to the number on your screen and say, just add me. We've been having powerful, meaningful conversation, and people from all over have been, joining those groups and getting the maximum help that they need for their marriages and relationships to last. Until we see you again next week, it's bye from Charlie and Andy, and God bless you.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye.